Now, listen to what Vice President J.D. Vance had to say about the cost of living.
We don't want a single parent or grandparent to have to look at their checking account and decide whether they're going to buy food or whether they're going to buy medicine this month. We are fighting for you every single day. And I don't want you to think for 1 second that because Joe Biden gave us the worst economy in the world that we forget it. I promise you, there is no person more impatient to solve the affordability crisis than Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States.
Well, look who's here now. The great Art Laffer joins us after an absence of just far too long. Art, how long before we see our society becoming more affordable? Because time's running out. Voters don't have much patience.
Let me, if I can, just define affordability for you, if I can. Affordability is the supply of goods and services produced. That's it. It's an all supply side issue. It's not a money supply, banking, or anything else issue. If there's one house in the economy, only one family can afford that house. If there are 1 million houses, 1 million people can afford to be in houses. It's purely a supply side issue. And when you look at this economy, that's not something that they can do by talking or anything else like that. All you need to do is increase GDP growth, employment, and output, and you will solve the affordability issue. Bang, that's it. And what you see happening with the jobs report and with what's coming on is I'm very optimistic that we will have very sharp increases in output and employment, and I think that will lead to a great reduction in the feeling of being not affordable. I'm very excited about the next year and the prospects for this economy.
Okay, next, unemployment hit a 4-year high last month, 4.6%. That seems to be a sign of a weakening economy, not a booming economy.
It's not. I mean, employment has also hit an all-time high. We've had a huge increase in employment as well as unemployment. What you're seeing here, Stuart, is you're seeing all sorts of people coming into the labor force. The labor force is growing rapidly, and part of those people don't get a job right away, and that makes the unemployment rise, and it's still in a very, very low range. But it also makes employment rise, and if you look at wages, you look at productivity, all of those are increasing. I mean, I am ecstatic with this jobs report, to be honest, because with the huge change in migration, now 1.5 million people are going back this year to where they were. Before, it was about 2.5 million coming in. So that shift should have meant to me that the employment would be dropping. It's not. Employment is rising, which is really quite amazing to me. I'm very optimistic with those numbers. Once we get over the new year and all the big, beautiful bill takes effect and all the incentive effects in there, I think you're going to see a very strong economy. And that jobs number, I know everyone talks about the unemployment rate, but the employment is the one you really want to look at.
Okay, a very strong economy. Define it. Does that mean that at some point in the coming year, 1 quarter will hit 4% growth? Is that possible?
That's surely possible. In fact, I expect it. I expect that 1 quarter for sure will do that. I think you might even get some more than that. I mean, I can remember when Reagan's tax bill took effect on January 1st, 1983. From January 1st, 1983 to June 30th, 1984. Now, this is a number. The U.S. economy grew by 12% in that 18-month period. It grew at an 8% per annum compound rate. That's the average rate for those 18 months, not just the highest rate. I mean, the U.S. growing at 4% would be very possible, and especially if we can keep on getting these good policies in there and bringing inflation down and all of that. That would be really spectacular. And I'm expecting a good economy over the next 12 months. Really am.
Well,
and making things more affordable.
Let me wish you Merry Christmas on the back of a very strong economy.
Merry Christmas
That's
to you, Stuart.
Stuff.
I love you dearly. Thank you for having me on. I love being on with you. We oldsters who've been around for a while, it's sort of fun, isn't it?
It really is, actually. We're still breathing. How about that?
It's really fun.
Art Laffer,
It's great.
You have a great Christmas. We'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.
You too, Stuart.